it's Carolyn here today to share a video with you on clearing. So a lot of you are familiar with clearing, but those of us who aren't familiar with clearing and we're new to this spiritual awakening ascension journey, it's really important to understand clearing. So stick with me if in fact you understand clearing and how it works, because I think you'll still pick something up. Not to mention, I think it's always helpful to get these reminders. But again, for folks who are starting out brand new with the awakening journey, trying to figure out what's going on and how this works and what it feels like, it's very different than some of the other things that happen to us just in our regular human journey before we woke up. And hopefully today what I'll be able to do is help you intellectually understand what is happening when these things occur. So I'm going to talk about why clearing is important, and then some of the hows behind it, how we actually clear. Again, many of you may have other ideas, thoughts, things that haven't come through for me to share in this video. So feel free to add in the comment sections. I always love to hear what you have to say about these topics. So clearing is one of the primary things we do in the awakening ascension journey to continue to rise in frequency and vibration. Because remember, it's all about energy. It's all about rising in vibration. So what we're doing in this awakening journey, the clearing process, is the process that helps us remove denser energies that cannot stay with us as we gain in frequency and ascend into the higher dimensions. We're becoming that light body, and it has to be actually light. Okay, so we're clearing out the density. And again, there are many ways we do this. I hope this assists you today in understanding and really reflecting on some of the things that will already happen to you, and then also be better prepared for the continued clearing that we will all keep having to one degree or another in this ascension journey. So these old energies, and they frame up in material ways too, but these old energies, they have to drop off. It's the cleaning out of the old traumas, the old fears, the old beliefs, the old constructs, the old relationships, things that no longer serve us and that really didn't before, but we didn't understand this, right? We were running around in our 3D world, and now we're moving, our energy's moving, and we're shifting and we're changing because we're going through the awakening journey. And this starts from day one, trying to clear out that density. Your body, your mind, and your soul wants to do that. But this is about your mind understanding what clearing is today and how it works. And what you'll do is as you start having these experiences, you're going to be able to start to understand your own patterns. And guess what? It starts to get easier in being able to get through a clearing process, because you'll be able to say, oh yeah, that's right. That's how this happened to me in the past. Like putting the patterns together for yourself. So hopefully today this will give you a framework to start realizing how you react to clearing. So we have individual clearing and we have collective clearing. We're going to talk about individual clearing primarily today, because I want you to understand as an individual this very important part of this process, because ultimately this all rolls up into the collective. But this is about individual clearing today. So how this happens, and these are metaphors that I've been given before, is it's like it shakes us loose, okay? Clearing shakes us loose. It's also like, okay, they're giving now they're giving another metaphor, and I have chills, of like when you take a carpet, like let's say you have a rug or a carpet, a floor rug, and you go out and you shake it out, you shake out the dust, okay? It's that idea. You're shaking out the dust to get it all clean again. They're also giving me the idea of a sieve, okay? Or like a colander, right? Like you're straining out, you're clearing. We house all of this in our cellular memory that we bring forward into this incarnation. So much of this is needing to just get cleaned up and kicked out, okay? So it's in our cellular memory. For those of you who have listened to my videos previously, you'll know that we talk about DNA being the library of you. So this can be a really difficult journey in the clearing process, but we also can often start to clear really quickly. And I'm going to explore that today, the hows and the whys of clearing. So for those of you who don't know me and just ventured on to here, I'm Carolyn Zaiser. I'm a channel, I'm a distance energy healer, and I'm a spiritual awakening mentor. And I offer these channeled messages to help you along your awakening and your ascension journey. And like I always say in each of my videos, take what resonates and toss the rest aside. You're here to collect more pieces of the puzzle for the puzzle of your own journey. So hopefully this is helpful to you today. If you want more free content, check out the link below in the description box on the video on YouTube, and you'll see a link that will take you to a free video on how to create flow in your body for health and wellness. But it takes you to my email list, which is used to provide you a supportive, poetic message from the Light Keepers, who I channel, a group of angelic beings. Each week on a Friday, I will send out to you the poetic message through the email list to support you in the week forward. That's what I use it for. So if you'd like more free content, check it out there. I also have Facebook under Purple Rain Healing, where I also offer lots more of my poetic messages too from the Light Keepers. Okay, so we're going to get going today, and thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. All right, so we're going to get going today and talk about why we clear and how. What are some of the mechanisms behind clearing? The whys, some of those I already talked about, but primarily it's getting what they always say, the dust in the corners out. Okay, we're really working on the dust in the corners. So it's like cleaning your house, essentially. When we clean our house, yeah, we may think it looks clean. That's all great and wonderful, and that gets a lot of it out. But guess what? We're in with a fine-tooth comb now. We're getting the dust in the corners out, and a lot of us are realizing that right now during these really powerful times. Now, I'm going to quickly hit on where we're at, I'll just say cosmically, with all of the energies. So we had the fall equinox, as we know. There's always something, right? There's always full moons, new moons, which add to this. But then we also have these contributing events, which was on October 25th. We had the partial solar eclipse along with a new moon. Guess what? On Tuesday, hopefully I'll have this out by then, but needless to say, on Tuesday of this coming week, we have, I think it's a full lunar eclipse. But it's also on a really powerful day. Remember, it's all about energy, and humans put power toward dates, right? Of Election Day in the United States. So there's a lot of energy around that. And oh boy, do I have a lot of chills. Wow. Okay. Anyway, and then we come to the 11/11 portal on Friday. So what they've talked about, as you remember, if you've listened to my videos in the past, they've been talking about this for the last few months, is these steps up that we're taking through the end of the year. And they're very much these portal dates. And they've been talking a lot about the power of the 8/8, 9/9, 10/10, 11/11, 12/12, more significantly than the first half of the year. So as we're stepping up energetically speaking, but then guess what? The eclipse season, which started on the 25th of October and will continue, starts to magnify and amplify everything. So lots of things are in our face, or they're here for us to look at and to clear. Okay? So just understand that we are being cosmically assisted in this clearing process, and yet our body, our mind has to go through the process. Okay? So we clear because we're working out dust in the corners. We are clearing density out of our being because we're taking our body with us in Ascension, okay? And the reason we're doing this is a result of past lives, all right? Inner child from this current incarnation, collective work. There's a lot going on with clearing in all these areas, okay? We're going to also talk a little bit more about that, but we're going to really talk about how this happens. So with respect to past lives, we carry our memories in our DNA, in our cellular memory. Oftentimes things will happen through our life that we don't understand, particularly before we went through the awakening. We do not understand that they are tied to past lives. Now, one of the specialties that I have is identifying past lives for people so they can learn to understand and heal those parts of themselves that they brought into this current incarnation that they didn't realize was from a past life, but they're repeating over again. Helping to stop those cycles, helping to assist in actual physical issues, emotional issues, relationship issues, things going on with work. A lot of this can be past lives. So needless to say, we very much carry forward into our current incarnation past life situations. And a lot of that has to get cleared in this day and age. But we don't know our past lives, right? We really don't know our past lives. The process is still going to happen, but like I said, intellectually, when we know these things, it's so much easier to understand and process. It doesn't make you feel like, honestly, like you honestly might be losing your mind. And that's just not the case. But when we understand and intellectually wrap ourselves around this, we can more easily move through this journey. So past lives is a big one that's coming through to clear. We also have a lot of inner child work that we're doing. Inner child, when I speak to that, that has to do with this incarnation, okay, this current incarnation. We've all been through things as children. We don't know what we've suppressed fully, particularly from the age of 0 to 4 or 6, right? But it doesn't even matter then. Lots of times we can experience things that we just shut down because as a child we don't understand how to deal with those things. And what do? We stuff it down inside. Guess where that lands in? It lands in the cellular memory. And as adults, then guess what happens? It shows up. And it's really showing up now in many ways. All right? That inner child work that needs to be done. That inner child is sitting in the corner going, remember me? Remember the inner child? Remember what we had to deal with? Remember what we weren't able to talk about? Remember what we weren't able to intellectually understand because we were too young? That inner child often wants now to start talking about these things because guess what? It's all that's had ramifications in the adult life. So all this is coming up right now, whether you know it or not. So that's another why or kind of what we're clearing from. And then we have collective work. Although I'm not going to cover that fully today, there is collective clearing out there. There's collective work that we're doing, land work, clearing for the collective just in general. Just know that, and we'll touch on that a little bit because I guess what I will say is the same things can happen as far as the actual symptoms, the things that you're going to see physically and emotionally, all right? We're going to talk about that. But just know there is collective work out there. But today we're really focused on this individual situation with past lives, inner child, also obviously our current life circumstances, clearing out things that occurred and that are brand new in the adult life that we have not dealt with as well. So I'm going to try to highlight all of these things today in this video, and hopefully you'll find something to take away that's really helpful for your journey. The other thing too that I want you to know is just daily being around other people, we collect other people's energies, and we're constantly clearing those out. And we can have at times where, and we'll talk more about this, where we are impacted by that as well. And we're clearing. That's more kind of like an always kind of thing we're doing. Some of the things I'm going to talk about today are the things we bring in or that we have stuffed down. Okay, so let's get going. We're going to go ahead and talk about the physical body that does a lot of clearing. Now, what you may find, as I have, and as I've seen other clients start to understand, is a certain way we clear more often than other ways. One of which is physical. I'm a physical clearer. I have a lot happening in my body. And this has a lot to do too with really, this is such an inner journey, understanding your body, being able to know your body, what is familiar to you and feels like you and what doesn't feel like you. So really knowing your body, getting to know yourself. This is part of the awakening journey too. Starting to understand and respect that body. It's not separate from you. You're not outside of it. It's bringing you back into your body to connect in, to be all you can be. And the body's a huge part of that because otherwise we wouldn't even be here without this body. It is here functioning for us and it talks to us, okay? So when we're clearing, it can talk to us, all right? So the body will clear. Oftentimes what I have found is that when we're clearing bodily, it feels different. Something's different. You might have had the same kind of thing happen before, but it's just not the same. And oftentimes if it's a situation where you seek medical attention, doctors can't diagnose it, or they say, well, there's nothing really wrong with you, particularly if it's the emotional side of things, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But it just feels different. And, doctors could diagnose it as, for example, rashes are a big thing. All right. Rashes showing up on us in some way, form, or another. Good example for me. I actually cleared an Orion War life where on the back of my neck, I don't think I ever showed you guys this. It looked like this. It looked like somebody drew a decent sized rectangle on me, about that big, on the back of my neck. Raised, blood red, didn't itch, thankfully, didn't hurt, thankfully. This is another thing. Lots of times this clearing, I don't know how to explain this. It's not always as severe as the actual situation was. But what I was clearing there was I had been collared in the Orion Wars. This is a past life of mine. So remember, we're talking about past life here too. But really what I'm giving you now is the symptoms of the physical, how we clear through the body. You may get rashes. I was actually clearing this trauma of that life when I had been collared and used as a slave. And for those of you who don't understand the Orion words, I'm pretty sure I have a video on that. But anyway, you can look online as well. But rashes are a big way that the body can clear. And, for me, I don't have physical things happen to me, or I didn't before I woke up, right? But then they started happening in spades. I also would get, we can get not just rashes, but cold sores and what looks almost like shingles. That's another thing where energy is coming out of us. And oftentimes that can have, when we have strong energies coming in as well, I've noticed that a number of people can get cold sores or canker sores or just skin almost like I said, it looks like a shingles kind of thing, and then it just quickly goes away as well. And we do have lingering issues too. I'm not going to really get into that today. I'm kind of trying to give you more of reasons for like why and how we clear. Everybody's situation is unique, and that's what I do in my sessions is I help you unfold all of this for your unique situation. But this should help you a lot today. We also clear physically through our joints. We can wake up in the morning and have just so much pain that we've never had before in our joints. So joints can be a place that we house a lot of our cellular memory trauma. I also know that oftentimes, and I've had a ton of leg and knee issues, never injured before in my lifetime until these last 2 or 3 years. I have had 4 different major leg and knee injuries, as well as now I'm dealing with plantar fasciitis and Achilles. This is past life typically related, okay, because it comes out of nowhere. Here's the thing, and I'm going to keep giving you my examples because I have really profound examples and it might help you in understanding yours. I literally woke up in the morning with going from totally normally fine knees to not being able to walk at all on one of my legs. At all. I understand why I was clearing after obviously sitting with it and understanding for a while and also talking to a couple of my friends, because that's the other thing. Other people will get information for you too and help you understand what's happening. I do a lot of clearing in my joints, in my legs, all right? So you may find that. Now understand that lots of times these will clear as fast as they come. I had one clearing happened before I really understood this fully. And it had to do with a life in Spain in the Inquisition, and it was brutal, is all I will say. Very traumatic. Needless to say, I was walking down my hallway, and all of a sudden I think I've told you guys this before, my shoulder dislocated and my knee dislocated, and they dislocated. And as fast as they did that, they came back together. I know that sounds improbable, but this is how the awakening journey works, all right? So what I was doing, and I was in the thick of this life. There were a lot of other things happening, but I had physical clearing happening to me for that particular life. So we've got rashes, we've got joints, major leg issues, kinds of things where we could actually pop out of a socket and it quickly pops back in like mine. And those are just a few examples. Pain out of nowhere. And it feels like you don't understand, like there's no frame of reference. Most of these things, there's no frame of reference. There's not like, oh, I played tennis for 2 hours yesterday and I kind of felt something in my knee and then the next day I couldn't walk. No, nothing. okay? You will typically find that they come out of what we call nowhere. But they're not really coming out of nowhere, right? It's just that our human mind does not intellectually understand it. Another way to clear is through our intestinal system. That is a profound way, I will just say it like that, a profound way of clearing. Many of you already know that, so just keep that in mind. If you have those habits shifting and changing, just know that's probably one of the ways that you're going to clear, okay? Now, you can also start to take a look at, because this can influence, okay, what's going on cosmically? Is it a full moon? Is it a new moon? Learn your patterns. Remember, this awakening journey is all about you, understanding you, how your body works, how your mind works, how your soul works, what your story is, which is why we're driven so internally and isolating ourselves, right? We're supposed to learn this stuff because it helps make our journey actually more manageable. So when we have full moons, new moons, eclipses, big dates, portal dates, all that, kind of take a look at like, whoa, that was happening then. Like I have clear signs of when the full moon and new moon are coming. I clear oftentimes very emotionally. We're going to get to that next. So just know the intestines are, as we know, it's a process for us as humans to clear anyway, but this is a different kind of clearing, okay? We also can clear emotionally. And remember, you're probably going to find one of these ways is your major way, but you want to understand your patterns, okay? I would journal this if you're new to this. I would journal it if you're new. Like this happened, and you may not even know what was going on cosmically, but just mark it down. Mark it down when you notice something, and you're going to learn more about yourself this way. So we also emotionally clear. Signs of that may seem obvious, but emotions that shift quickly. Okay, like you literally wake up different every day. And that's how I've said the awakening journey, I wake up different every day. However, as I've continued this journey, that has become less so. Okay, because as we continue to rise in frequency and vibration, we start moving into those higher energies where things are flowing more easily for us. It doesn't mean you're still not going to have some of these really tough times, but you're going to get through a lot of that density to clear that out, and then it's going to make the rest of the journey typically, I don't want to say much easier, but okay, they just said flow more smoothly, okay? So emotions that shift quickly and that come out of nowhere. Trigger moments when you're particularly, obviously, when you're like at work or you're with people, that's how your triggers come up, typically, all right? People can trigger you. What's that about? What is that about? Why am I triggered? And here's the thing. You might have been triggered in the past before your awakening journey, but guess what? It's super accentuated now. There are stories there that these triggers tell us. Again, this is a self-study. You want to take a look at what is happening there, why this is, and are there patterns to that? So again, we get triggers that then assist us in honestly clearing emotionally. Lots of times this is inner child related as well, but it can also be past life related. But of course it's also this incarnation. So we're kind of dealing with those three situations. Not that the adult stuff might not be from inner child, but we've got kind of adult new things happening, right, that we encounter each day. We have inner child stuff that might contribute to that, but then we have past lives as well. So in the emotional category, we may have crying spells like we've never had before. We may be crying for the first time, some of us, honestly, or not typically using crying as a method, and now you can't stop. Guess what? You're supposed to cry. Because what they've told me in the past is that tears are a way to clear cellular memory. That's what we're doing here. We're clearing. So tears clear for you. The emotion comes up. Additionally, you want to be able to feel into that emotion and take that time and go ball up on your bed and feel it and cry it out and really let it go, because these emotions are important. Because guess what? We've stuffed so many emotions down over this lifetime that this can't go with us. This can't go with us. So we'll get triggered oftentimes into those emotional expressions of clearing. So kind of tied to the emotional side of this is we often are clearing relationships out, whether it be work, personal, familial, all kinds of relationships that no longer serve us. There's a clearing process there, right? That's really in your face usually. Okay, feels very 3D, but it feels very 3D. I don't want to say it feels very 3D. It actually is very 3D, meaning material, right? It's right in front of you. But it feels different because you know your energy is different and you're not vibing with that person or that workplace anymore, and things start to break down. So we clear that way. Like it's kind of a little bit of a different way, but we are presented with these things that don't serve us any longer. Remember, it's all frequency. Think of energy. It's all frequency. It's all vibration. You're just not connected any longer to the things that formerly you were connected to, whether it be habits, whether it be relationships, whether it be work, whatever it is. Friendships, family, relationships. So these are some of the things that we are clearing, and this is a result of shifts and changes in our life through the awakening journey, but it can come out very emotionally, okay? Just know that. Additionally, it may not, okay? It may not be emotional. You just know, and it just happens, but that's clearing too, okay? That's a clearing. You're actually clearing out what no longer serves in the actual physical material world as well. Not just past lives, not inner child. It's the whole of this journey. So we also clear in dream time. So it's very interesting because in working with folks, I notice how a lot of people clear. And I have clients that their primary way is to clear in their dreams. And they have these unbelievable dreams. And then what we do is kind of unpack those dreams and help them understand what's really going on, how that may tie to what they're working on in their spiritual awakening journey. So that said, we very much can be the type who has vivid dreams, have vivid memories, may astral travel, really understand the whole of it and clear through dreams. We can also have nightmares, and this may be because you're clearing the tough stuff, okay, traumas. Nightmares may pick up. You may never have had a nightmare in your life, and now you're having nightmares. Just understand this, because here, what I'm trying to do for you today is help you honestly more, they just said clarity. Yeah, move through the awakening journey with more clarity so that you don't have fear, so that you don't feel like, honestly, you're losing your mind. This is a huge part of this awakening journey. And I know I could spend a lot more time on some of the details of this too, but I want to trying to give you a little bit of a top level understanding on this today. And again, as I've always said, if you want to work with me one-on-one, we unpack your whole journey. We can even do that a lot in a first session, but we can help you understand what's really happening for you. Okay? Travel. We clear when we travel. Yes, we do. Now, I'm one of those, I clear a lot when I travel, but the thing is, I do collective clearing on the land. That's not what I'm talking about, though, because we're not talking about that part. But collective clearing, that also can run through you physically and emotionally and through the dreams. I've had that. But travel in and of itself seems kind of innocuous. And for me, it has been. I traveled a lot, and I'm giving you my examples today because I have clearing examples all over the map. I traveled extensively for probably about 10 years overseas. Went to a lot of different places. I wasn't awake then. My awakening happened, I don't know, maybe 4 years after that. I was still traveling, but not as extensively. And what I have learned, a long slog through the awakening journey, that these travels, I was there for purpose. And I know now exactly why I went to those places. All right. And I understand that while I was there, not only was I picking up aspects of myself and integrating, all right, with places I had been and lived in past lives, because that's part of this journey as well. Maybe I'll do a video on integration at some point, integrating parts of ourselves, right? Because I have chills because we're becoming the wholeness of ourselves, and in doing this clearing is a big part of that, as well as integrating. Travel's fun, right? Typically, travel's a great time, and you don't think of that as being an opportunity to clear. However, it is, or can be, for a lot of us individually. So we can often feel very connected to a place and just like very emotional about a place that we would have no frame of reference for in this lifetime to feel emotional about. We may have very interesting circumstances happen in that trip. We may have people come our way that we meet and we form lifelong bonds with. We may have had traumas there as well, things that didn't go quite right, that there's a reason for us to come back onto that land and to take that into us for later clearing. Okay, it's still in our cellular memory, those memories, but there's something about that. Oh, they just said activation. Okay, they just said being on the land activates that memory. Whoa, that's fascinating. Oh, for some of the significant lives is what I'm getting. Wow, that makes so much sense. And I'm thinking of my journey. It makes so much sense with the lives that I know about for me. So think about that. That's all new for me information. Being on the land is actually an activating point for that memory to potentially clear them down the road. So think about the trips you've taken. I bet you some of you are going to think, oh wow, look at all that happened in that trip. And particularly as we start to wake up and travel, it's even more powerful. Because remember, we're consciously conscious now. We're not unconsciously unconscious. We're not even unconsciously conscious. We're consciously conscious. So we get signs and messages. We see, we know, we start to understand, we put the pieces together, and that's a journey in and of itself, right? So travel can also be a way we actually do clearing. And then, as I think I touched on briefly, we also clear every single day just energy around us, which is why some of the actual things we do in humankind is assisting us in clearing the little things, honestly, each day. Saging our home when we feel like it, clearing our own energy field, getting energy clearings, taking care of our energy body, Epsom salt baths, getting out in nature, all that. We have to start practices to assist our energy body as well. And yes, I know it's hard enough to take care of the physical body and do all the things that are right, but we got to do this, right? We got to make time for this because we clear there too. We're always dusting ourselves off each day, right? Each day we're needing to dust ourselves off from energy. So that's clearing. That's more on I don't want to say, they did say superficial just now, but they're trying to explain it in a way that it's like that's the day-to-day stuff. The big, heavy stuff is what comes through emotions and physical and dreams and all of our nightmares kind of thing, right? So what I want you to know too is this, it does get, I guess I'll use the word easier. It gets better. But what I want you to know is most of these things come out of nowhere and they just hit you. Like you might just wake up in the morning, all of these may just hit you. And some of the physical stuff can hang for quite some time. Plus, what I have found is some people, their physical ailments and situations that have been with them quite some time are part of a lineage of past lives that have been extraordinarily difficult for them, or inner child situations, their early years where the child has suffered lots of familial trauma, some kind of traumas, okay, and that we've stuffed down. So that's oftentimes where a lot of the bodily things start to show up for us, and we've been holding on to these for so long. And relational too, I will say. Relational can cause this as well. But we've held on to this for so long. And now in the awakening journey, we start realizing, oh my gosh, especially when you understand that your body clears for things that don't serve you. It's trying to tell you something, right? So the process does get easier, I will say, because number one, you're taking the time to understand your patterns. You're taking the time to know you, your body, your emotions. You're feeling through these. You're not stuffing them down anymore. You're feeling through this, and that's how you learn how you clear. What is your primary way? You don't ignore yourself any longer, okay? You've brought yourself back into yourself, or you're working on doing that, and you're starting to understand who you are and how you operate in this awakening journey. And clearing, I probably said it about 10 times already, clearing is a very, very important part of this awakening ascension journey. So remember, it gets better from here. It gets smoother is what I will say. Because again, as you clear out the density, guess what? You get uplifted. And so then it's like there's less to clear out, right? And then sometimes a big old boulder will come and smack you in the face, and you're like, whoa, what was that? I thought I really understood this. So just know that we still have clearing opportunity, but at the same time, we are elevating. We're getting rid of that density, and it starts to become a smoother process. Okay? And remember, full moons, new moons, eclipses, portal dates, the 10/10s, 11/11s, 12/12s, all those. And then we have our solstices and our equinoxes. There's always something. But it's important to understand. Also, let me back up. Very important dates that humans have made significant. New Year's is a great one. Well, I mentioned Election Day, right? Yeah, all those things. We, as a collective, have put energy into those dates. So keep an eye on what that does for you as well. So again, know thyself. Help yourself understand how this works for you, how clearing during the awakening journey can show up for you individually. So that's what I've got today. I want to thank you so much for joining me. And if you'd like to work with me in helping you understand more of what's going on for your awakening and ascension journey and how that pairs with the spiritual soul journey understanding and to assist you forward with all the things you have to deal with in this awakening journey, I would be happy to help you. Check out my services, purplerainhealing.com, where I list all of my services, channeling, energy healing, and spiritual awakening mentoring. Again, thank you so much for being here today, and I'll see you in the next video.